got a bunch that's a little bit different.
If you're a kid who grew up in the projects, in government housing, and on welfare, if you're a kid who grew up in school struggling to make grades, you're really far behind the rest of your class, you're going to know exactly what this feels like when I talk to my guest, Mike Barron. He had all of the strikes against him. And man, he started hustling in school. He started developing businesses. He started learning a few things. And today he is kind of the unofficial shark of Shark Tank in San Diego. This guy is closing huge deals and running multi-million-dollar companies. And you get a chance to hear how he went from lowly government housing and struggling at school to now leading high-level leaders and being extremely successful. I can't wait for you to hear from my guest, Mike Barron, on this episode of Unbeatable.
These stories of triumph over adversity will help you handle your toughest days in life and become unbeatable.
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking some time out of a crazy busy schedule to be with me on this episode, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm glad that you're connected with me directly from Limelight. I can see all of those gold and platinum records on the wall behind you, man. You have been insanely successful as an entrepreneur and a businessman and investor. And I'd love for people to find out, a little bit about your story, because from a guy who grew up from a teenage mother in government housing to where you are today, man, that's a pretty amazing journey.
I appreciate that.
I just got to know, you're a guy who knows how to close some really big deals. I was thinking about this Saturday Night Live skit, right? ABC, always be closing.
That's right. Yep.
And people freak out when they start talking big dollar deals, right? Like people will lose their brains when they start figuring out whether or not they're going to be able to land those deals because of the amount of money and all of the, the long-term implications that go on back and forth with those deals. So how do you do it, man? How do you handle the stress of those really big deals when you're in the big meetings?
Yeah. So before I answer that question, let me kind of like give you a quick background. When I started my business, when I left corporate in 2014, I was selling websites in SEO, and I was selling websites for $35 a month. Okay, and my pitch was unlimited updates. I'm going to get you ranked on Google. I'll do anything that you need. Call me at 3:00 in the morning. Call me at 4. Call me every day for the next year, and I'll handle it. I would do a backflip for you. I'd jump through a fire ring for you. I'd go across the whole town for $35.
You just signed me up, man, for $35 a day. That kind of customer service, I'm in.
And at the time, man, I had the skills, obviously not the skills and the awareness I have today, not the level of administration I have today. But at the time, I was afraid of money. And what I mean by I was afraid of money is I grew up never having money. I grew up in Section 8. It was a big deal for my family to go to Subway. We go to like Subway once a year. And as a kid, so I'm 39, I'll be 40 next month, which is kind of crazy to me.
Man, you're almost there.
Almost there, almost there. So, you in the neighborhood, you'd hang out until the lights came off or till your parents called you. So I wanted to be outside, swing from trees and do a whole bunch of, bullshit and jump off of fences, whatever. When I found out we're having Subway, I'm like, dude, screw hanging out.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Like, no way. We're going to feast. So I never had money. So I was afraid of money. I was afraid to ask for money. Some of the stuff we wear, stuff that we drive, we got the cars in the back and the Lamborghinis and all that stuff. I was afraid to go into the Mercedes-Benz dealership. I was afraid to go into like a Gucci store. I was afraid to go into, a designer place or to the Rolex store because I felt like at the time I never belonged because I never had it.
Yeah. You'd feel like a fake being in there, right?
Yeah. Like, dude, these guys don't want me here. So how does one go from that to now, like yesterday, man, we did $7,000 cash collected. Today I'll do another 30. Our organization does anywhere from 30 to 50K every single day, 6 days a week.
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah. You can't even dispute it, with the bank statements and all. So how does one go from being afraid of a $35 website to not even flinching, asking for, let's say, $50,000. And I would say one of the biggest things is if you're not, let's not everybody wants to make that kind of money. Not everybody has to make that kind of
Yeah.
money.
Lots
You-
of people that are listening are thinking, I know what it feels like to sell a $35 website,
oh hell yeah,
35 bucks a month, but 30K a day, there's
oh yeah,
not a lot of people listening that knows what that feels like. So talk to us, man.
yeah. So now as far as like what was the transition? Um, if you're not, if you want to make a lot of money, and if that's the game you're playing and you're not making a lot of money, the only thing is there's something you don't know or you don't understand about money. So in the last, I'd say 10 years, I had to learn what the hell money is. And I had to find out that money is just energy. It's like, it's damn near all made up.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's made up, man.
Paper currency is basically just paper, right?
Bro, it's paper. And now today it's like digits in a freaking screen.
Uh-huh.
It's all made
Yeah.
up. So my websites went from 35 to 350. I added a zero. I was like, what the hell? Nobody even flinched. And then one
Just
day I added
added a
another
zero and
zero.
everybody's like, yeah, sure, sign me up.
Dude, it was the same damn thing. I've been working hard. I've been doing 12 to 14 hours. I've been taking weekends off. I've been, making sacrifice. It was the same damn effort. It was the same damn, commitment. And once I found out money is just, it's damn near made up. And once I figured out, um, there's not too many. There's a couple lucky people, but it's not like this guy's lucky or this guy's zip code or this guy. Once I found out, like, it's like the old school Bob Proctor, like it's the old school, some of the OG names, like the value you create, the service you provide is directly related to the income you earn, right? So once I started learning about money, I was like, okay, cool, it's just money. So I wasn't afraid of money. So now I got really heavy on personal development. So, I signed up, these names, Russell Brunson's Category King. Here's a credit card for 150K. Swiped freaking, 2022. Myron Golden. Here's 50K in the front. Here's 150 on the back. Another coach in San Diego. I'm going to give you $10,000 a month, okay, for the next 2 years. And what and I don't want to get off track. I'm kind of long-winded. Do you hear people screaming in the back?
Yeah, it sounds like you guys just landed another big deal. They're ringing the gong behind you.
Yeah, I'd imagine they made like $10,000 right now.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, so it looks like $4,000 right now.
A big party
Anyways,
behind you. All good.
So I believe, and I don't believe you've ever heard this because I didn't borrow this from anybody. This is one of the truths I found, and I believe the secret to success is having the right information and operating on that information. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. The secret to success is having the right data and operating on that data. So the wrong information can kill you. Okay, you have a guy that doesn't believe in gravity. He's on the edge of a building. He's like, Mike, there's no such thing as gravity. It's wrong data. Takes one more step. Goodbye. Growing up as like in Section 8 or lower class poor family, I wasn't really getting the data in my household. It's like money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. You have to be lucky, whatever. So I again, I had to figure out, like, the wrong information kill you. The right information could set you free, so to speak. So I'm not afraid of money no more. I know the importance of information. I'm like, okay, Russell, boom, coach in downtown San Diego, boom, Myron, boom, whoever. I'm always paying money to get better, to get stronger, to get smarter, to get faster, right? So now throughout the years, you start doing that. You start investing in yourself. I don't even flinch asking someone for $100,000 because I feel so good about me, and I know what I've become over the last couple years, in the last half decade or so. It's like a jiu-jitsu guy. Dude's at the freaking, let's say, bar and grill, 160-pound man, big guy walks in, 6'4". He's like, hey man, you're in my seat. Jiu-jitsu dude's like, hey man, I don't want to hurt you. Guy's like, dude, you're in my fucking seat, get out or you're gonna have. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. The jiu-jitsu guy is so freaking confident because he has put in that work. He has worked on himself. He has hours on the mat. So the transition for me is like, is the information, It's some of the results I've had. It's like how I view myself today and the value that I know about myself. So it's dude, $100,000, $50,000. Are you kidding me? It's nothing. It's nothing. My buddy Louie, he was in my inner circle. He gave me 50K. He just sold his company, nothing crazy, but he sold it for $1 million, literally, like right at $1 million on a $50,000 investment. So that was kind of my transition. And I could keep going, but hopefully that
Well,
answers your
listen,
question.
man, you and I know a little bit about what Section 8 housing is like. There's people
Mm-hmm.
tuned in on this episode. They're connected with us from around the world. They don't
Sure.
know that terminology, but
Yeah.
like you, man, not only did I grow up in Section 8 housing, but I
No
grew
way,
up
man.
yeah, and not only that, but I grew up in the trailer parks, but not the
Oh,
part of the
damn.
trailer park close to the road, man. I was way back in the back of the trailer park where the
Yeah.
people up by the
Yeah.
road don't live. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
go
You're on
back
the other
there.
side of the train tracks, man.
So
That's funny.
people need to know, describe for those people that have no idea what Section 8 housing is like. Describe what it's
Yeah.
like for you as an 8,
Absolutely.
10, 12-year-old kid living with
Totally.
a teenage mom and
Yep.
scrapping to make to put
Yeah.
any food on the table.
Yeah. So Section 8 housing, basically what it is, it's basically the government will fund low income families because like they basically cannot afford to like take care of themselves. Like they cannot afford an apartment complex or a house. So the government will say they will like sanction this community. The owners have to apply, but they'll say, hey, listen, this particular community is like a lower class community, and because the government's going to fund this, these families can pay like $100 a month. You can live in San Diego for $100 a month, but I did, and it was basically I was approved by my family was approved by the government because we had no money, no education, not even a high school education, and they're like, hey, you can stay here. Granted, you don't make too much income. So now, I'm in a neighborhood of it's the projects is what it is. So I'm in a neighborhood, and it's pretty much what you would imagine. Very diverse. A lot of minorities. A lot of people just they don't have traditional formal education, as you'd imagine. There was a lot of good people there, and it was also a very tough environment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when I was there, it was normal. Like people are doing drugs. People are out there shooting craps, rolling dice, and when someone didn't pay, they got their ass kicked.
Hmm.
And this rival gang would come in, and there'd be a fight. It was just kind of it's a bad environment from the outside looking in, but when I grew up, it
When
was
that's all
just
you know, that's all you know, right?
yeah, just a lot of shit went down over there, man.
Hey, man,
You know?
not only did you have that deck stacked against you, but you also had some real challenges at school. Like
Oh yeah,
when I was studying up on you a little bit, man,
yeah.
severe ADHD, which
Oh
means the
shit.
teacher puts you in the corner and everybody
Yeah,
else is normal. Look at the kid over in the corner that nobody else is next to because he's
yeah,
that different, that disruptive, man.
yeah,
Like, what was that like for you? Because you have a huge handicap
yeah.
educationally when you're growing up too.
Absolutely. Yeah. My my mom had me at 16. She's the oldest of three. So I grew up at my grandmother's house, and her younger sisters were a year behind, and another one was 7. So my aunts were like my sisters. So it's all women, and this baby comes home from the hospital, which is me. And today I have 2 siblings and 3 daughters, and my brother has 2 kids, and I have a cousin Lynn, and they're always like, out of all the kids we've ever had in our family, you were like by far the baddest kid, the most disrespectful, the worst mouth.
When he
Like
says bad, he doesn't mean mean or tough. He's talking about the kid that's always getting into trouble finds you
that's
if
it.
you are not looking
Absolutely.
for it, right?
Absolutely. So now you go to you fast forward, and now it's kindergarten. It's like 20 kids there. I'm the only kid that cannot sit still. There's 20 kids there. It's nap time. Everybody's taking a nap. I'm on the carpet just poking people. It's nap time. I pull out a fork and I like poke a kid. And my stepdad came to my life at this time, and I remember him sitting down with my mom. She was still a young lady. The principal's there, the nurse is there, my teacher's there, and like even back then, I wasn't,
Oh,
very,
that sounds
very.
like an intervention, man. We got to do
Yeah, it
something,
was.
right?
It
Yeah.
was. It was. I was always really aware when adults were talking, and they had no idea I knew what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah.
I was not good at school, and they're basically saying like he's a disruption to the class. You may start thinking about like getting him on medication so he can focus. And I just remember my dad, my stepdad was like, so how long does he have to sit on the carpet? They're like 5 hours a day. He's like, well, you're telling me that
5 hours a day?
yeah, sit on the carpet, listen
Yeah,
to the teacher, right?
right.
He's like, so tell me one person you know that can sit on the carpet for 5 hours. And the response was, well, all the other kids do it. So now you fast forward, third, fourth grade, same deal. I'm struggling in the classroom. Um, I'm always like one of the least performing students in the whole classroom. I'd say if not the least performing, one of the least performing. And I have a cubicle. So the teacher's here, dressed as the class. I always had a cubicle facing the wall. So I was already like outcasted. It was like 25 kids, and. So I just found this out recently. I haven't seen my dad in a while. He came to visit me. He's ill right now, so he's just making his mends or whatever. I haven't seen him in a decade, and he was just saying how he was proud of me. And he told me something I didn't even realize. He says in sixth grade, right before I go to junior high, he was saying they want to hold you back because you had the bottom 5% test scores in the state, like the ACE stat test. So that was me in elementary school, man. Just kind of just struggling, man.
Yeah,
Struggling.
well,
Even a little socially awkward.
yeah, dude, of course. This podcast is for people that have been punched in the face by life. And
Yeah,
every episode, there's another example from a different walk of life of somebody who's been punched in the face by life. And when
sure.
people get punched in the face by life, you got two options. You hit the mat and you curl up in a
Yep.
ball and you quit,
Yeah.
or you
Yeah. Roll the
decide to
die,
be
basically.
unbeatable. I'm going to get
That's
up
right.
and I'm going to get back
Right.
after it. And I
Totally.
was thinking, as you're talking a moment ago, man, you got the 1-2 punch, right? Like you
Oh, hell
got
yeah.
the Section 8 housing and everything is against you economically.
Right.
You got education and everything is against you that way. And let's be honest, man, you and I both know tons of guys that grew up in your circumstances who said, look, I'm never going to amount to anything because look at the way that I was born. Look at the family I
Yeah.
grew up in. Look at the schools that I went to.
Totally, man.
I'll never be able to close. I'll never be able to run a multi-million-dollar business and start
Completely,
one
man.
from scratch like you did. And what
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
people
I
to hear
mean, I
from
don't.
you,
I don't.
Mike, is how did
I'm
you
not
how did you
better.
keep
I'm
getting
not
up off
better.
the mat after you get punched in the face again and again?
Yeah. Yeah. So, no one I grew up really went off and did, some extraordinary things. And again, I'm not better and I'm not superior, but like, I'm like an anomaly
Yeah, of
from where I
course. I
grew up.
know 1,000 guys who grew up like you did, and none of them broke free
Yeah.
from it, man.
So now, uh, I'm exiting elementary school and I'm going to junior high. I become an athlete. I
By
excelled
the
in
way,
football.
I'll just say it one more time for everybody who's listening. California is a massive state, one of the world's biggest economies and largest population in the United States. And you're at the bottom 5% of
Yeah, the whole
all of
state.
the students in
The
the
whole
whole
state.
state. Yeah.
Yeah, in the whole state, man. Um, and like I'm struggling, but I'm aware. I'm aware this is going on. I know that I'm not. It's not clicking like the other kids, man. And it's tough, dude. It was really tough, man. It was really tough. It was just I felt the pressure. I felt a little different. I
Yeah.
had friends and all that
Well,
good
sure, you're
stuff
different when the teachers got you in a cubicle
by
separated
myself.
from the rest of the room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, by myself. And I knew. Could you imagine a 10-year-old kid where there's 25 kids and there's just like one little ram dude that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
off?
And everybody's looking at you like you're a freak, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so it makes it worse, man. It makes it worse. Anyways, so now I become an athlete. Seventh grade, I excelled in football. It's pretty good. Became captain on the team. I started wrestling, and it's. I just remember being like 12 years old, 11 years old, and I was always just like intrigued by money. So my stepdad, he was a manager at a bakery, but it's not like a bakery where they make cookies and like sweets. It was like a freaking Home Depot. Like it was like a major, like there's bread going across 30 feet in the air, and it was called Parisian Bakery, which was like one of the biggest bakers in California. Parisian. I don't believe they're around anymore. And they used to call him Chief, and he was like the big boss. So I always remember asking him, like, hey, this summer can I work? This summer can I work? I was like 12, 13, and I always wanted to make money. And I remember at that same time, I asked him, I said, hey, how come we're not rich? Like, how come we're not rich? Like, I know we're poor. How come we're not rich? And he's like, huh, we are rich. I'm rich. His name was Richie. And I was like, man, get out of here. Like, stop,
It's
man.
a play off of words, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
know if we met before, but my name is
it
Rich.
was Richie, So anyways, um, I didn't end up working with him. And I remember at 13, I used to go to like the Sam's Goody and the Costco,
Yeah.
and I would buy candy
And
in bulk,
all right.
right? So then I would sell candy.
Look at
So
you.
I was making like 10,
Got a
15
little
bucks.
hustle going on the street corner
Man.
at 13 years old with candy
Yeah,
bars.
it totally, man. So I'm taking home like $100 a week, and I remember going to like now high school, and by the way, something happened in eighth grade. I kind of got obsessed on education, so I was like a 3.8 student, almost 4.0.
Nuh-uh.
It,
You
it,
turned it
it, it,
around from
yeah, it was
sixth
so
grade to eighth
shocking though.
grade.
It was so shocking though, man, because I
Wow.
was like a slow kid. In a fucking eighth grade, I was like, damn, I'm like one of the smartest kids in the whole damn school. It was weird, but I got obsessed. So we always had that like compulsion, that obsessive freaking, that I've always been like that. So now you go to high school, and not only am I selling candy, I have a whole team of people selling candy for me. So
Check
I
this
have a whole
guy out.
squad.
He's already got a
Oh yeah,
business
hell yeah,
going
man.
in high school
Yeah,
with a
totally.
bunch of employees working for him.
So now I'm like mid high school, 10th grade, and I just wanted to make money. We never had money. I wanted like Nikes, and I wanted Jordans, and I wanted freaking new clothes, and I wanted jeans and whatever.
I know exactly what you're
You
talking
know,
about. That
I want
was
to go
me,
to freaking
man.
movies,
Yep.
man, and not worry about not having anything. So now I'm 15, about to become 16, and about 3-4 months before I became 16, I filled out job applications for McDonald's, Jack in the Box, KFC, Taco Bell, Burger King. These are all spots in where I grew up. The day I turned 16 on my birthday, now I'm legally able to work. On my birthday, dude, I turned in my job applications I've been holding for about 4 months. And what the hell is the point? The point is, dude, I have been driven and motivated on making paper. I've been obsessed with it as a young boy. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna lead into kind of what happened. So now, I'm 15, about to be 16. I'm like, dude, if I get a car, that means like I can be mobile, and if I can be mobile, I can get a girlfriend, and if I can get a girlfriend, I
The
can go to
whole
like,
world is opening up to you right
dude,
now,
are you
right?
kidding? I can go to parties now. I can go to the freaking beach. Like I can go to Mount Soledad. Like, dude, there's no limits. So long story longer, I started working at McDonald's. I knew early on I had some sort of gift. I became a team lead in like 3 months. I was obsessed at working. All my shelves were stocked with ketchup. All my shelves were stocked with freaking lids for the cups. My lobby area, or where they dine, was just the cleanest. And I remember being pissed off at 16 while my manager, who's like my age today, was just sitting there just talking. And I used to get pissed off, like, why does she keep talking? Like, we got to work. Like, we have work. So I was not the best student traditionally, but I was just an animal. Like my work ethic has been disgusting since day one. So I can keep going. Then I got in a whole bunch of trouble. Um, I got more to tell you, but what else? Like,
No, and
I'm a,
so this is the part of the story that I want people to hear, man. Listen, guys that come from your background
yeah.
economically, they just think the world's against me. I'm never going to make it. Guys
I
that
felt that
don't
way
have
forever.
the education, the world's against me. I'm never going to
That
make
was
it.
me,
You got both of them,
dude.
and
That
you
was me.
decide I'm not going to let it stop me. I got a hustle going in high school. I'm ready to start running the business. Pretty soon, I'm going to run a McDonald's
No,
while you're
totally, man.
still in high school,
No,
man.
totally, dude. Literally, like I had those dreams. I was 15, 16 years old, right? And I was telling everybody I was going to be rich. And here's kind of a pivotal point, and we'll come back to it if we need to. So there's a girl named Yahira, and she's like in my math class. I must be about 16 years old, 16. She's like, Mike, why do you sell this freaking candy? I was like, Yahira, I'm selling this candy because I'm gonna buy a Rolex. I'm gonna buy a freaking Rolex. Are you kidding me?
At 16 years old, he's already after a Rolex. Nice.
I'm gonna buy a Rolex.
By the way, if you're not watching this on YouTube, he's already rocking one on his arm right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. So she's like, okay, that makes sense. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, and then I'm gonna tie it up. So 16, I'm a wrestler. I'm a football player. I start doing my street shit, and I want to be a gangster at this point. Now I'm going from 16 to 17. I wanted to be a street kid, and I was doing a whole bunch of bullshit.
And that's a good way to get yourself hurt or to ruin your life. Yep.
Just to keep it real quick, I walked out of high school 2 felonies. Was never a bad dude, but just that's what happened, right? So now let me fast forward kind of my mid 20s, and I'll back up. So now, this is what I believe. I believe that like a baby goes through life, because I have a 4-month-old daughter, I have a 3-year-old daughter, I have a 13-year-old. I believe a baby goes through life and they're not worried about the challenges of life or about what society says or about money. Like if I take my 3-year-old past Target right now and go past the toy section, my 3-year-old daughter is going to scream, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And what the parent generally does, or society generally does, is like, no, we can't afford it. No, absolutely not. No, your birthday's in 3 months. No, Christmas is coming up in 4 months. No, you. So what I believe is we have this like innate ability to be free from birth, and then kind of life happens.
Yeah.
So then now the kids walking out of high school, they stop reaching because they've been told no so many damn times.
Oh man, that's so true. Yep.
And sometimes it's from people that we love the most, whether it's your grandparents or your parents or siblings or your aunts or uncles or whatever. Come on, Mike, be reasonable.
Yeah.
Be reasonable, man. You're not going to be a millionaire. Be reasonable. Like, go work. Vaughn's is hiring. And we hear that, so the kid stops reaching. So now, the reason why I tell you this, because as a young kid, I wanted the Rolex. I wanted the Lamborghinis. I had the Lamborghini fucking posters and the calendars. I'm telling everybody I'm gonna be the man. And then I walked out of high school, and it's like, okay, it's time to be reasonable, dude. Like, it's just not going to happen. So now I'm like in my mid 20s, and I run into who? I run into the girl from my math class, Yahira. I just run into her randomly. Mike B, what's up, man? Dang, wow, it's been so long. It's good to see you. And she said one thing. She has no idea the impact it had on me. She's like, hey, man, it's really good to see you. And we were not really close friends, but like we kind of grew up with each other in the high school. She said, hey, dude, did you ever get that Rolex? And it hit me in the fucking throat, bro. It like 18 years old, life happened to me. I forgot damn near who I was. The dreams went away. The ambition went away. The goal of being financially free went away. The cars went. And she said this to me, man. And it was like I became like, I got snapped into like present time, basically. And, I said bye to her or whatever. And I was like, what? It like my life flashed the last 8 years. Like, what the hell? What happened to me? And I just got back on the horse, man. And I did a lot of things after that, personal development, and worked at Grant Cardone's office. But that was like a pivotal point where I just gave up and forgot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's the moment that she reminded you of all of those dreams that you had been pursuing, but life happened and you heard no so many times that you threw any hope of accomplishing those dreams out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
You start you start some businesses, and man, some of the businesses that you started, a lot of businesses, in fact, and they've been incredibly successful.
Yeah, thank you.
Some $1 million, multi-million-dollar businesses. You're still running several multi-million-dollar businesses.
100%.
But starting a business is never easy. It's always far more work than anybody thinks, and it is a grind for a long time.
Totally.
So there's some people listening that are saying, man, I want to be free one day. I want to be able
Yeah.
to have those nice things. I want to be able
Yep.
to dictate my life. And they're thinking about starting a business. You want to talk about some of those ups and downs for them?
Totally, man. So I'm 39, and I don't want to act super cool, but I believe if you're successful, tangible things are going to show up. I know in the last 3 years I bought more supercars than anybody in the city of San Diego. Okay, like I bought a
Okay, I got to
Lamborghini
hear
Evo.
this. I'm
Yeah,
dying to know, man. Tell me some of these cars that you've been
yeah.
driving around in.
I bought a Lamborghini Evo. I bought a second Lamborghini Evo. I bought a Lamborghini STO. That one was 510,000. We just bought another STO, and we're gonna go pick up in Italy. Uh, John Pena's car. I bought my GTR Nismo. I bought a Lamborghini Urus, so that's 6. I'm not going to claim the 7th one, but my buddy bought a McLaren that I kind of helped.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're talking about 6 supercars, right?
I'm just going to tell you, one car that you're driving cost more than all of the houses that I've ever owned in my lifetime.
No way.
Yeah. So
No way.
come on,
Okay.
man. Um, so and
So
no doubt
that's
you've been able
yeah,
to accumulate some things and be able
a
to,
little bit, right?
make a
I
little
own some
money
real
along the way.
estate.
Yeah.
I own some real estate. I have some investment properties and multifamily now. I'm learning, man. But I remember leaving my corporate job and being stressed the hell out. I remember leaving my corporate job and the Empire State Building is like damn near on my neck, and I got stress and anxiety. And I come home from work after leaving my corporate job, and my wife's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine." And she's like, "No, what's going on with you?" I'm like, "I'm like, you can't even fake it. You can't even like, I can't even like my frequency, my vibration is just destroyed." And I remember I was suffering, man. It was so hard, and I remember we'd close a big deal, and I'd come back to life. And in my world, and I believe that like damn near any entrepreneur is like you go a couple days without a deal, it's like you start shrinking. Your confidence goes down. Your
Yeah.
uncertainty.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have doubt, man. You close a big deal, you grow like freaking 2 inches, and you're like ready to bang your freaking chest.
Yeah.
So this is what I believe, man. Here's a bar, and the bar is. I'm not like a Jesus freak or nothing like that. I don't really go to church too often, but I am Catholic. But I'm gonna talk about God for a second.
All right. Come on.
And what I believe is that, and I say this a lot. God does not pick the qualified. God qualifies and then picks. Okay. Let me say it one more time, then I'll elaborate. God does not pick the qualified. God qualifies and then picks. So hold that for a second, and let me tell you the story. I left my corporate job, and I was already I was the number one career advisor in the whole company. UEI College, Kaplan College, Intercoast Colleges, Concord Career College. I was already number one. My work ethic has been disgusting, as I mentioned. I didn't tell nobody I became a president in 3 years out of college. Anyways, yeah, I didn't bring that up, and yeah, I was pretty buttoned up at that time. So now I'm exiting corporate. I have like the top team out of like 18 campuses. I'm like, dude, screw corporate. We're gonna do our own rules. Screw corporate. I'm starting this business. So next day everybody shows up at my house. Like 5 of my boys that have been on my team for years. No, I'm lying. 5 guys get invited. 3 show up. Because 2 are like, oh, I can't make it today because bullshit. I can't make it today because bullshit. By the end of the week, everybody's gone. So my journey, this is what I believe, and I'm gonna button this up. I believe that what's happened for me is I started this journey. I'm leaving corporate. I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna get rich now. So I have to take that first step, and I'm gonna go through that desert. What's the desert? The desert is that obstacle of going from where you're at to where you want to be. It's tough. There's scorpions. There's snakes. There's hawks. Whatever the hell. So I'm going through it. I'm going through it, and I'm just getting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. I'm doing backflips for a guy for $35. He's still pissed off, and I'm not even able to please him. So I'm going through this desert. Like my leg is falling off, man. My arm's falling off. My jaw is like damn near hanging off. And I just had so much perseverance, man. I just kept going. So all the people that started with me, they all quit. I just kept going. I kept going. And then every now and then, what happens is you'll hit an oasis in that desert. Okay. And to me, That's like God saying, "Hey, man, I see you. You're doing great. Here you go." And that's when I closed Patrick Bet David in 2016, and I signed up. I did patrickbetdavid.com, PHP agency, which sold for over 200 million. He's one of the biggest influencers on business and entrepreneurship. And I'm like, holy fuck, Patrick wants a website. He's going to pay like $8,000 and he needs two of them. I was like, and it's like, that wasn't the reward for all the work I put in, but it was just like, son, here you go, keep going. So I hit the Oasis. What's in the Oasis? There's like coconut water. There's like freaking, mermaids in there, pretty ones, and there's like shade
Not the ugly mermaids. We're talking
not
about
the
the pretty
ugly
ones.
mermaids.
Yeah.
And then you got to go back out. So what happens is, I would have to work forever to make 50 grand, 60 grand. I'll make that, dude. I can go to Hawaii, man. I'll still make 50 grand a day. Money is not something you chase; it's something you attract. Okay, it's not something I have to go work 12 hours. I will. I just made $5,000 talking to you right now, and it will happen again. So what's the point? What's the point? God does not qualify. What's a qualify? Oh, he lives in the perfect zip code. His father is such and such, or his network is so amazing, or he looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, or whatever. What happened for me is I just went through bullshit, and God's like, here you go. Here's a moat. Here you go. Here's a brick wall for you. Here you go. Here's a pack of hyenas for you. Here, man, that boy, he's not going to give up. He is now worthy of all the stuff that he set off to go achieve. And what happens is it's the road opens up, and now that's why I don't really have bad luck anymore. That's why I don't have bad days no more. That's why I don't have challenges, or it's become relatively easy. But it was not easy. But you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that's what I believe, man. That's what I'm doing today.
You're not living on easy street, but it is a lot easier today than living in Section 8 housing, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. Hell yeah, that's for sure. In my 20s, dude, I paid one year I paid rent late for like 6 months in a row. I used to hide from the freaking landlord. I'd go hide in the closet, seriously, and I'd wait 30 minutes, go out, check the blinds. Okay, he's not here. Diana, come on. Like, how does one go from that to some of the stuff we're doing today? And I haven't made it, but I'm making it. So,
well, as you were talking, I was thinking, you made a statement just a few minutes ago. It didn't pass right by me. I hope that the people that were listening and driving right now with the kids screaming in the back seat heard what you're saying. Part of the reason why you're able to close the big deals right now is because you figured out a way to believe in you. But that didn't happen overnight,
100%.
man. And it took a lot of hard work to get there.
Right.
And there's some people that are driving right now saying, man, I want to be able to do business at that level. I want to be able to chase my dreams, but look at all the strikes I have against me. What if I try it and I fail? I go to the desert and I never make it to the oasis. Right. So what about those people right now?
Okay, so for those people, what you have to understand that everything you've ever wanted, it already exists. It already exists, either in this form or another. Either in this universe or another. Everything you want already exists. So what the hell does that mean? I'm 16 years old saying I'm going to have a Lamborghini. I'm 15 years old, I'm going to have a Lamborghini. Here's me in my far future at 39. I went to jail. I paid rent late. This is what happened. Somehow, some way, my fate was I was going to actually have this. I'm in corporate kicking ass. I'm saying I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to become a multimillionaire. Somehow, some way, it happened. So if I were to go show you my new goals, is absolutely I have a $100 million car collection. Absolutely, I'm a billionaire. Absolutely, I live in the most luxurious home in Mount Soledad. Absolutely, my friends, loved ones, and my daughters and my wife are the best expression of themselves. Absolutely, I'm at my peak mental, physical, and spiritual state. So all that stuff already exists. But if I were to just turn the dial one notch, it would have never happened. I'm talking about this in 10th grade, dude. It happened. I'm talking about it happened. I'm what, 23 years old, 22 years old. I'm with this girl. We're dating for 6 years. We have a bad breakup. It's the first girl I ever moved out with. I go out to my balcony. And I cannot make this up. There's a full moon out. I live on the second story. I look out at the moon and I said, listen, you don't know me yet, and I don't know you yet, but I can't wait to meet you. To my future wife, I love you. I met my wife 2 weeks later.
All
Like what?
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything you want already exists, but what they have to have, whoever has doubt, you have to have the courage and guts to go get it. So I know everything I want exists. Anything, dude. I'm not going to give you no motivational speech. I'm not going to give you no hoorah. If I want to become the president, I could. If I want to do A, B, and C, I could. If I wanted to, it already exists. So if you know that, if that's real for you, like it's real for me, now the game is not can it be done? Because Jeff, most people say, "Can I do this? Is this possible? Is that real?" Dude, Elon Musk is colonizing Mars, and you can't like become an investor or start a business that you always want to do, or go date the woman or the man of your dreams, right? Like that's a real problem that he's solving, and I can't go get a fucking Bugatti. What are you talking about, dude? Everything wonder exists, so you have to get very clear that it's not can it be done. It's done because you made a committed decision. So the game is not can it be done. The game is how do I shorten up the timeline? Okay, so now I remember it's been about 5 years ago. Got my first Lamborghini, man. And we come from nothing. I'm out here banging my chest. We come from nothing. I told my wife, I was like, could you believe this happened to us or me? Could you believe we're actually doing this? Could you believe we live in this luxury apartment now? Could you believe we got these great things? And she said something so cold in a good way. She's like, yeah, look at all the work you've done. She says, if it didn't happen, none of this would make sense. And what she's talking about is just like principles and laws of the universe, like just doing the right thing and it starts to compound. But the problem is that people want instant gratification. Rich in the first 6 weeks. I was an overnight success that took 10 years, man. And it's the courage to keep going, even though I was suffering. And I wanted to quit. And I was crying at night, and I didn't tell nobody that because I had too much of a freaking ego, and it will happen. And if you're going through bullshit right now, anybody that's watching, trust me, congrats, you're on the right path. And that's what I got to say about that.
There it is right there, man. That's the story that I wanted people to hear. Yeah, you were an overnight success because you spent 10 years grinding and hustling
Dude,
and wanting to give up and crying in the bedroom, because it's
yes,
not
man.
happening, but you didn't give
Yes,
up.
dude.
And then all of a sudden, now you're closing the big deals. Now you're running multi-million dollar. Now you're investing in people and you become, kind of the San Diego version of Shark Tank because of
Yeah,
the
yeah, man. Yeah,
influence that you got.
yeah, dude. You looked me up, man.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the
So,
whale
so
shark of
I
San
have,
Diego, man.
yeah.
Come
So
on.
I have a lot of different operations, and usually I grab about 25% equity, but I'm downloading my processes, my systems, my SOPs, my organization board, my everything. I'm like, oh, you're a dog trainer? Boom, $100,000 later. Oh, you have a Toro car rental business? I don't, but like, boom, and that's what man, I have a dog training business. I don't even have a dog.
And you don't even know dogs, right?
Oh, you know what I mean? So you got it, man.
Well, so now that's the perfect segue to get to this next part. And let's talk to that guy or that gal that has this financial dream. I've got an idea. I want to know if I can basically turn this idea into money. And you said something really, really wise a minute ago, man. It is not, can it be done? It's how can it be done? And you said, how can I figure out the shortest way to get there? So somebody comes to you and they're like, Mike, I got this idea, man. I think I can make some money on it, but I don't really know how this thing works. Would you be willing to drop some big dollars into my idea? What are you going to talk? How does this conversation go?
So I, for me, I don't really like. I'll take an innovative idea, but that's not what attracts me. It's the individual.
All right,
It's not.
there it is.
Right?
Not
It's
the
not like I
idea.
got this.
It's the individual.
It's not. I got this brand new app that's going to change the world, or I got this brand new freaking X, or I got the next oop. Like it's not really that. It's always like the founder. That's who I invest into. It's the individual. It's not the idea, because I know that like if I'm on purpose and we're helping people, cool, check. But I know we could do anything. We can create a landscaping business. We can create a commercial cleaning business. I could steam car. It don't matter. So when I partner up with somebody, I'm like, okay, is this person dynamic? Is this person like somewhat coachable? And I don't know everything because I'm easy to work with. but does this person have enough horsepower and juice to actually like go through that desert if need be?
Yeah.
So, so I'm going to kind of flip it, but let's just say that some of your viewers are watching and they haven't quite, got to the financial level that they want to,
They're not driving Lamborghinis, is what you're saying.
yeah, let's just say that. Okay.
Okay. Let's say
So
that.
I believe in something called the journey of the entrepreneur. It's called the journey of the entrepreneur. I believe you're going to love this. I paid a guy, Shakir, a marketing coach back in 2020. I gave him 25 G's for 8 meetings, only redeemed 2 because he gave me all the information I need. And he says, Mike, what do you know about the journey of the entrepreneur? I was like, I don't know about it. Tell me. He says, listen, step number 1, if you want to, become financially free, step number 1, you have to skill up. He says, doctor, lawyer, attorney, dentist, engineer, all these professions that kids love in 3rd grade, they all have one thing in common. They are high paying skill sets. So Mike, step number 1, you want to get rich, you have to have the skills to pay the bills. I said, that makes sense.
I'm writing this down. Skills to pay the bills.
You have to have it, right? So I can learn Facebook ads. I can learn funnels. I can learn high ticket sales and closing. I can become a badass personal trainer. Okay. So step number 1 is skill up. Skill up. Step number 2, in this order, it's called startup. Startup. I have the skills. Let me apply it. I do not want to go to dental school, get a degree, get certified by the state,
Right.
and not fix teeth. Dude, go fix freaking teeth. Get paid. Okay. There's people we know that have gone to school and they got like 3 degrees. It's like, sister, like, get into the workforce.
It's time to do something with those degrees, right? Time to put them to work.
Like, props on what you've done, but like, you got to go actually work a little bit. So we go skill up 1. Number 2 is called startup. Okay. Step number 3, it's called scale up. SCALE. Scale up. So scale up means I could do anything, but I can't do everything. Okay. So once upon a time, I became a closer, and I'm closing deals at my kitchen table. I learned how to close, and then I started doing everything. And I'm in my kitchen table by myself. My wife went to work, and like, I was making the money. I was doing the delivery. I was freaking paying myself. I was doing everything. I'm like, dude, screw this. This is not how I best serve myself. Let me go recreate myself. Let me go teach Gage how to close deals. Let me go teach like Gladys Treasury. Let me go teach John Pena like administration and marketing. Let me go teach. So in scale up, that's where you have SOPs, and that's where you have systems.
Start to build the systems. Yeah.
Right. I have SOPs on every freaking thing. I have 100 people on my team. Every single position has an SOP with a corresponding video training that I did. You can't really see it, but I have 100 people on my team, man. They're all, here's the boiler room here.
I can hear them in the background, and it sounds like they're working.
They're being nosy here. That's why I'm different, man. I don't take lunch breaks. Just saying. Anyways, okay. First one is skill up. So anyone, if they want to drive Lamborghinis, if they want to invest in real estate, you got to skill up, you got to start up, and then you got to scale up. Okay. I'm not really closing a lot of deals these days. The deals I'm closing is I'm acquiring companies, but I'm not closing like my day-to-day stuff, because I've grown up from that. Skill up, start up, scale up. Number 4 now, it's called sell up. SELL up. Sell up. And again, that is also, you could do anything, but you can't do everything. So now this is Mike saying, okay, I have a system here. Wow, we are making in a good month $1 million a month. We're pretty dialed in. We know how to recruit people. We know how to train people. We know how to get people producing. We know how to retain people. We know how to deliver for our clients. So I'll go meet a guy like Oscar and Jesus, who has a car rental business in San Diego. And I meet these guys. I'm like, these guys are like fucking really dynamic. These guys got a lot of horsepower. These guys are really, high level, high frequency, intelligent guys. If they only knew what I knew about operations, it'd be a rocket ride. So what I do is I partner up with those dudes, give me my 25%. Here is my IP on everything. It's here. And I have a hit squad. I have graphic designers and funnel builders and CRM managers and email marketers. And my team will handle that, but you guys have to be the face of it. You guys have, I'll give you 2 hours a week, literally. You guys got to give me 40, 50 minimum. You guys are there. I will serve as counsel. We'll meet twice a week on the counter, 1 hour on the counter, whatever. And first month we made 100,000. I get my little 25,000. Second month we're like at $250,000. So sell up is where you're actually partnering up with other brilliant,
Yeah.
like-minded, and Shark Tank is pretty much it.
Yeah.
So that's step number 4. So let me give it to you again. Skill up, start up, scale up. Number 4, sell up. So number 5, last but not least, is called the ultimate entrepreneur. Okay. So now, one thing I love to say is this: money is not everything, obviously, but it's the best way to keep track of the score. Okay. Money's you like
Yeah.
that? Money's not everything, but it's the best way to keep track of the score. Okay. I'm going to be a little political right now. What's important is health. What's important is relationships. What important is your loved ones, your friends, your family living their best days. Absolutely. Creating memories, of course. Okay. So now the ultimate entrepreneur is your legacy play. It's like, I don't want to just go to downtown San Diego and see Marriott. I want to see Barron. I'm going to go to New York on Monday. Okay. I don't want to just see Trump. I want to see Barron. It's your last name. It's your legacy play. It's not even just that. I'm an animal lover. That's me donating $1 million a year to the San Diego Zoo to help condors. Right? It's me. I'm 39. It's me in 6 years, and someone comes up to my grandkids and said, "I met your grandpa, Leanna Aria. I met your dad. He was a fantastic guy. He was just a great human being." It's your legacy play. It's like when it's all said and done, like what will they say about you? Like how will the novel end? It's your real estate fund. It's your legacy play. So, how do we get here? It's like, okay, what do we say for the person that's just starting the journey? I'm not talking bad about anybody. I love good people. If you want to be financially free, it's not going to happen at Starbucks. It's not going to happen as an Amazon driver. You have to skill up. And what I would say about that is go find something that you're passionate about, that you're relatively good at, and trust me. I promise you, you could. Like my mother-in-law, she can create the best Mexican food restaurant in San Diego, but they don't want to do it. Whatever. Skill up, start up, scale up, sell up, and the ultimate entrepreneur. And I'm a junior investor, but we got some real estate, we got some multifamily. We're learning, man. You
Yeah.
know, so
I love the fact I wrote down that when you were talking just a second ago, you have some very specific goals, and you have goals for family, you have goals for business, you
absolutely,
have goals for your life.
yeah, of course,
And
you
I
have to have
think it's
goals.
fascinating that you can list those off without even thinking about it.
Oh
The
yeah,
average guy, average gal is going to have to scratch their head for a minute and say, well, if you give me a
yeah,
little time, I'll be able to figure out where I want to see my life 5 or 50 years from now.
for sure.
And after listening to you, no wonder if the ultimate entrepreneur is your legacy game, you got to have a goal and you got to
You
have a
have to,
clear picture of that goal if you're going to
absolutely,
get there.
100%. You don't name the goal, you're not going to hit the goal. If I don't say I'm going to New York City, I'm not going to end up in New York City. If I don't say I'm going to be a billionaire, I'm not going to be a billionaire. Like I got to be at cause. Okay, so now I'm in this facility. It's about 7,000 square feet. My buddy Bruce is my closest friend since kindergarten, and we're best friends. But he's not like this crazy take over the world, change humanity guy, which is fine. But we always have a good time. And so he's helping me set up here a couple years ago, right after COVID. And I'm telling him, I'm showing him what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to type in the word facility. I said, man, when this COVID thing is done, okay, because I'm pissed off because I'm tired of being, locked in. Dude, I'm like tired of it, right? So I'm showing him this. I said, hey, man, Grant has a facility. We're not going to have white tables. We're going to have black tables. Another guy that I look up to and a mentor of mine, I said, Russell Brunson, he has a stage with a gray backdrop with a big old TV. We're going to do that too. So I said, it's going to be a place where people can congregate and the local community can come and they don't have to worry about shit. And it's going to be a safe haven for people trying to get to the next. What do you know? There's a stage, there's a gray backdrop, there's a TV, there is a black things, and here's all the people that come. So what am I talking about? My boy, he says, Mike, dude, you are, and he doesn't understand, which is fine. He's like, Mike, he literally says like, you're really good at guessing. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Guessing. Yeah.
He's like, dude, like 6-9 months ago, you said what was going to happen. And it's not that. It's like everything I want already exists. I write the goal down. I name the goal. It's not a matter of can it be done. It's already done because I made a decision. So how do I shorten it up? And
Yeah.
that's just kind of like I live my
Just
life
how do you
today.
get there now, right? Man, I could keep
Yeah.
talking to you for hours, but we gotta
It's been
we
fun,
gotta
man.
bring this thing to a close. There's
Yeah,
lots of
dude.
people that are fired up from what they've heard from you today. How do they find out more about you, man?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I do a lot of things. I would say my high ticket skill set in the very beginning was learning how to sell and close deals. I worked at Grant Cardone's office. I've signed up Conor McGregor as a client, Patrick David as a client, Solar City as a client. We started a business going through the yellow pages, cold calling. You know what I mean? So if you want to connect with me, I'm very big or very active on Instagram
All right.
and TikTok. But I post 3 reels a day on Instagram. I'm getting about 1,000 followers a day. My Instagram handle is the Mike Barron 1, the Mike Barron 1, Mike Mike Barron Barron 1. And I do stories every day. I do reels every day. Follow me, I'll follow you back. If you come through this platform, just say, hey, I'm a follower or support of Jeff. Connect. And then another thing, on my bio, there's a link there, and you can get my 100K sales program for free. You'll get mentorship for 30 days. It's not going to ask you for a credit card. It's not a 14-day trial. It's not going to expire on you. So if you want to, see how you can skill up, I would say start there. Get in my community. It's completely free. One thing I didn't tell you is that, and hope this does not come off as cheesy, but um, I found my purpose in the last couple of years,
All right.
and my purpose is to help those often left behind.
Yeah.
And Jeff, as we wrap up here, I remember being that 19-year-old kid at the
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a millionaire to come to the gym, and I would be in the parking lot, like, he's coming, like this true story. And I was like, there's going to be because I felt good about myself even back then. I was like, there's a guy that's going to come in. He's like, dude, I like your style, man. I like your swag. I like your confidence. I like your charisma. What do you know about real estate? Hey, man, what do you know about supercars? What do you know about X? What do you know about investing? What do you know about becoming that was like one of the rare stories that hasn't come true. But at 18, and I even already moved out of my parents' home, I was like, it's going to happen. It's going to like a year, 2 years went by. And it never happened, dude. And it never happened. And I'm a big boy. I'm a tough boy. But fuck, looking back, it's almost a sad story looking at my 18-year-old self. So I said, when I quote unquote start making it, I was like, I'm going to be that big brother.
I was about to say, you're going to be that guy now to some
Yeah,
other
exactly.
18, 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So these are my
definitely.
students, man. I make millions of dollars. So, anyways, man, I love people. As long as you're good people, man, I rock with you. If you're ever in San Diego, you can pull up to my facility. But start there. Go to my Instagram, connect, and call the killers, man. I'll see you at the top.
Yeah. Sounds great, Mike. Thanks for giving me some time today, man.
Thank you, brother. It's been a pleasure, man.
See you around. Did you notice how quickly, how naturally, how easily Mike could list off some of those goals? It's because in his mind, he has a very clear picture. In fact, he's already said, I've written those goals down, and so I already know exactly what it looks like when I get there. And the only question is, what's the shortest path to get to those goals? Chances are you got some goals in life. Are they that clear in your mind? Do you have a plan to get you there? Because if you do, maybe you can figure out the shortest path to get there like mine. If you don't have a clear picture, if you don't have a plan, then let's just be honest. Maybe you do, but maybe you don't ever meet those goals. And I hope this episode has encouraged you. Figure out the goals, put them on paper, and come up with a plan. And then just start working that plan. And don't forget that you keep working and struggling and scratching, and then all of a sudden, you become an overnight success 10 years later. Thanks, Mike, for some great insights on this episode of Unbeatable. Mike told you how you could connect with him on Instagram. We got lots of people connected with us on social media. And if you're not already following this podcast on social media, why don't you go ahead and search for @Unbeatable Podcast And go ahead and subscribe or follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You're going to find a guy out there like Chuck Edwards, who is very committed, very loyal, very engaged. Chuck, you are our fan of the week this week. Thanks for being so connected with us on social media. But you can also download this episode or subscribe to all of the future episodes on YouTube or your favorite podcast platforms. And I want to offer you a freebie too. Look, we don't ask for a credit card. We're not making any money off of this. This is 100% to help you get over some hard days. We want to give you the Unbeatable Army Survival Guide. It's a free PDF. And if you want to get that, just simply go over to unbeatablearmy.com and join our list. And I'll start sending you some amazing content directly to your inbox every week. Thanks for joining me for this episode. See you back here next week with another amazing guest. Have a great week.
These stories of triumph over adversity will help you handle your toughest days in life and become unbeatable.